famous Salsa Con Fuego, 2297 Cedar Avenue, Bronx, New York. Tickets on sale now on Eventbrite. Cushion Combat Championships.eventbrite.com. And then join us for the In-Ring Cypher as we celebrate the 30th anniversary of Akinele's Put It In Your Mouth. One great night, two amazing events. Tickets on sale now. Are you ready for the hottest sensation sweeping the nation? Cushion Combat Championships, an extreme pillow fighting league. Join us for the debut show on September 29th at the world-famous Salsa Con Fuego, 2297 Cedar Avenue, Bronx, New York. Tickets on sale now on Eventbrite. Cushion Combat Championships.eventbrite.com. And then join us for the In-Ring Cypher as we celebrate the 30th anniversary of Akinele's Put It In Your Mouth. One great night, two amazing events. Tickets on sale now. Are you ready for the hottest sensation sweeping the nation? Cushion Combat Championships, an extreme pillow fighting league. Join us for the debut show on September 29th at the world-famous Salsa Con Fuego, 2297 Cedar Avenue, Bronx, New York. Tickets on sale now on Eventbrite. Cushion Combat Championships.eventbrite.com. And then join us for the In-Ring Cypher as we celebrate the 30th anniversary of Akinele's Put It In Your Mouth. One great night, two amazing events. Tickets on sale now. Are you ready for the hottest sensation sweeping the nation? Cushion Combat Championships, an extreme pillow fighting league. Join us for the debut show on September 29th at the world-famous Salsa Con Fuego, 2297 Cedar Avenue, Bronx, New York. Tickets on sale now on Eventbrite. Cushion Combat Championships.eventbrite.com. And then join us for the In-Ring Cypher as we celebrate the 30th anniversary of Akinele's Put It In Your Mouth. One great night, two amazing events. Tickets on sale now. Are you ready for the hottest sensation sweeping the nation? Cushion Combat Championships, an extreme pillow fighting league. Join us for the debut show on September 29th at the world-famous Salsa Con Fuego, 2297 Cedar Avenue, Bronx, New York. Tickets on sale now on Eventbrite. Cushion Combat Championships.eventbrite.com. And then join us for the In-Ring Cypher as we celebrate the 30th anniversary of Akinele's Put It In Your Mouth. One great night, two amazing events. Tickets on sale now. Are you ready for the hottest sensation sweeping the nation? Cushion Combat Championships, an extreme pillow fighting league. Join us for the debut show on September 29th at the world-famous Salsa Con Fuego, 2297 Cedar Avenue, Bronx, New York. Tickets on sale now on Eventbrite. Cushion Combat Championships.eventbrite.com. And then join us for the In-Ring Cypher as we celebrate the 30th anniversary of Akinele's Put It In Your Mouth. One great night, two amazing events. Tickets on sale now. Are you ready for the hottest sensation sweeping the nation? Cushion Combat Championships, an extreme pillow fighting league. Join us for the debut show on September 29th at the world-famous Salsa Con Fuego, 2297 Cedar Avenue, Bronx, New York. Tickets on sale now on Eventbrite. Cushion Combat Championships. Event.
Ready, the sitting figure out of the middle of the night. Can't watch, steady with the him, I'm a style. Stand me, I stand it to the middle of you free. Flash, I get the pleasure.
Fundraising barbecue for this weekend coming, the 29th. It'll be Saturday. We're trying to purchase a van to transport our children, so I don't have to pull them behind my cab like that. And it is Thursday, so we're back on. This is your weekly podcast, Belizean Awakening, courtesy Sea Smoke. I want to say big up to our producer up there in New York City, CY, every week on the job, making sure the buttons are pushed and the switches are flicked. I am G. Michael Reed, Chairman Designate. We want you to pull up to the table, grab a plate, join the conversation. Let's debate. Let's argue, but not quarrel. Let's talk about these issues. We're joined each week, of course, by a number of prominent individuals, prominent Belizeans. We no got no, every now and again, we get a young person. We no got no young person, and Dickie likes to point out no females. But every now and again, we get a couple on, and we've had a couple of females co-hosting for a while. It's not easy to get people to be committed to a cause non-profit as it is. We're not doing this for the money. We're not doing it for the applause. We're doing it for the cause. We're trying to make sure we cover the issues in a fair, objective, and unbiased way. We have no sacred cows, no scapegoats, no. Let me see. Somebody's hollering for me at the gate. Let me. I wish Private Citizen was on so he could hold over for me. But hopefully they'll go away. Let me. The hollering continues, but I cannot imagine that it's anything of such urgency that I have to. The fact is that people, not everybody, respects the time you need to do things like this. So, and my door is there's always somebody hollering. Sometimes it's frivolous, sometimes it's serious. So I have to try and make sure if I can pay attention, I do. Right now, you are major concern, trying to hold your interest, trying to keep you in tuned. The situation right now that I wanted to touch on was the opening of schools, because we're going to have the usual hectic rush hours in the mornings and in the evenings. And I think it is avoidable. Now, I think the real fun is going to start when they start repairing those two bridges simultaneously. The two bridges will be repaired in November at the same time. Somebody was saying maybe they want her to spend the money before somebody else comes in and gets any of it. I don't know because hopefully the money will be going to the purpose which is given, which is to rehabilitate these bridges, which many believe they do. I would have liked to have seen the swing bridge left in its in a way operating the way it did, able to be swung. Also, it's just something. It's a part of a tradition and it's a part of our charm. But they're gonna apparently revise it, make it more modern, maybe higher, so that the vessels can pass under in the event that there's a hurricane. You know, when a hurricane, the vessels move in and move up river, so they're out of Lick's way. They're planning on fixing both those bridges. But I'm talking about the situation with the traffic jams. And every school term, we see the same situation. We see where there's a traffic jam and both north side, south side, all over the place because there's schools where today people no longer walk to school. Many of them, some even drive. Some of the students, in particular the higher tertiary levels, uh, they're they're mobile. Um, Parents drop off children, especially at the high school like Belize Elementary, certainly Holy Redeemer, and SJC. Uh, we have on the south side over there where you have Wesley College. You also have ACC. Um, the college areas on the north side in particular, like St. Catherine's Academy, and a couple of other high schools. And we have to do something to try to lessen the traffic and alleviate the jamming. Let's invite to the show our private citizen, the man that comes with the AI package, and he can't tell him nothing, but he have to investigate and see what Chat GPT says. Jeremy, good evening.
Hi, good evening. How are you doing?
All right. Where AI to tell you now? The AI again, or the answer?
No, I belong to a chat group, and I was just answering a message I got from them.
Okay, what the
Uh,
message about? What the message say?
the message has to do with a class of 1973, and Santi Castillo has volunteered to host a little reunion of those that are living in Belize at the brewery in a couple of weeks.
At the brewery, okay.
Yep. Santi
Going,
was in my class. Santi
okay.
Castillo and the
Yeah, that I
chief.
mean, it was quite a class, huh? Because 200 characters of different.
Yeah, David Craig was in our class, Victor Usher, Rennie Johnson, Andrew Lopez, who was president of SJC,
I remember him.
Herman
Yeah,
Herman Bird, Clement Usher, Joseph Wade, Christopher Rowe, Trevor Rowe, Wayne McNabb, Charlie Payne, Derek Castillo, Alvaro Alamina,
you know
Rock.
everybody. You remember
Yeah,
everybody.
I remember everybody.
Yeah, yeah,
Rocks,
interesting.
Rocks, who passed away the other day in Key he was in our year.
There
You
were
know,
obviously a lot of people from that class went on to become successful, prominent citizens, huh?
Polo Lightburn was in our class too. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
Polo Lightburn, Omar Castillo. The list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
Good class, good class.
You graduated in 73, huh?
In '73, they went on to sixth form, and I went to England to went to England to do my A levels. Father Diekman always laughed. You remember Father Diekman?
Yes. Wait, did
Father
you go?
Diekman Father
Did,
Diekman said, I had a brother called Andrew. He was no problem. He was the bright Spooner, the one that was well together. But when it came to Jeremy Spooner, Father Diekman said, we sat down and shook our heads and said, what are we going to do about Jeremy?
did you? So I take it you didn't get a Rhodes Scholarship.
No, I didn't get no scholarship. I went to England, and because I'm born there, I went to public school. I went to the Brompton Oratory, and
Mm,
then I didn't have to pay university either. Yeah,
cool.
but
So All right.
So
Wonderful.
I
Well,
was lucky in that sense.
I,
Had a
I
very
s-
good experience. Loved England. Had a great time. The weather sucked. The weather
uh,
sucked, but you get used to it after a while. You know.
Speaking of weather suck, we've been having some very hot weather here in Belize. Have you noticed that? I
Maybe
know.
that's why I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. I don't feel my 100%. You know.
Well, well, the heat no man to that. I mean, the heat tends to make you well. It makes you sweat, and I don't think it, it it affects you like that. A more cold weather would make you feel under the weather as such, but I don't
No,
know.
I
I mean,
love cold weather. Cold weather. Oh, I love cold weather. When the cold front come in at Christmas time, I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven.
it's not an ethnicity thing, is it? Because
It probably is. It probably
white
is.
people tend to handle cold weather
Yeah,
better.
the white man couldn't handle this weather. That's why he did what he did. This weather is brutal to the white man. You know, we've got more percent fat on our body. You got more muscle percentage on your body.
I
You are
didn't know
made
that.
for this weather. I am not
Interesting.
made for this humidity. But maybe I've evolved because I have to. In the short time
You
in
have
all my
to
life
adapt.
I lived,
You have
I
to
may have.
adapt.
Huh?
You have to adapt. What you gonna do?
Yeah, because I notice that I don't sweat like I used to sweat, and I don't feel. And when people about it hot and I feel terrible,
Why?
then
But I sweat profusely. I mean, I change
yeah,
3 4 shirts in like by midday. Uh,
yeah,
every time I put on a shirt, sometimes I'm sweating the shirt to get wet while I'm putting it on with sweat. But I
yeah.
have no problem with sweating. I don't think it's unhealthy,
No, it's healthy.
especially when you replace it. I try to drink a lot of water, and sometimes only Gatorade or something. Put
Yeah,
some salts back in there. But
yeah,
I can't say I wouldn't recommend it because I'm not in perfect health. So I can't tell you do this and you'll be in perfect health because I'm not. So
mm,
you
yeah.
know.
Well, I'm me personally. I have a chronic situation where I have bad circulation in my left leg, and every now and then I get venous ulcers, and they're very painful and they're very hard to heal, especially if, like how I'm diabetic. It's even and tonight it's burning like hell. It's just like really painful, and they don't want me to take painkillers because
I know that will cause creates its own problems.
yeah,
So
you know.
the
So you could do damage to your kidneys with painkillers. I've even learned that antibiotics can damage your kidneys. Like I'm somebody who's diabetic.
right.
Antibiotics do more damage to your kidneys than doing what it's supposed to do. You know, so
How
but
about Tylenol? Because Trump says shouldn't
it
take
doesn't do
Tylenol.
anything. You know what I did? I did. A doctor had prescribed to me a wonderful painkiller, fantastic painkiller. The only thing it's a narcotic. It's Tylenol. Another Tylenol, tramadol.
Oh boy,
And not
that I can't take that.
boy, and I tell you, not only did it kill the pain, but it gave me a nice buzz. I was always high, you know. And the bad thing about it, you start off at 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening. Next thing you know, you're 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening, then three, then four. And next thing you know, you're addicted to it. And I realized I was addicted to it. I came off of it, but I went through like a drug addict. I had the sweats, the vomiting, the
But
shivers.
did it help with the pain?
Yes, it did. It killed the
So
goddamn pain. I
so
afraid to take it. I don't want to take it.
where they complain about? Then I get and you get high. My
It's
God.
the addiction, boy, no more. Because if you
But that
don't take
affects
it,
different people differently because I that makes me sick. I mean, really terribly sick. I doctor gave me one time, and I took two, and I said, you know what? Me not no sir. I don't like how I feel. I
that's with the
did.
tramadol. With the
Yeah,
tramadol,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. What helped me was diclofenac, but then doctors warned me against that, so I had to
yeah,
stop taking that. No, and
yeah,
I remember Dr. Francis Smith was telling me one time that he was really impressed with some of the Mayan ladies that came in because their tolerance for pain. He said they refuse to take any pain medicine. They see him because he gives them advice and whatnot and what to do. You say, but they just bear the pain and they don't take no
Would they have a high
particular.
threshold? I have a high threshold for
That's what it
pain, or they
seems.
just
Yeah,
bear it?
yeah, high threshold for pain, and well,
Yeah,
they feel the pain, but
yeah,
apparently they can withstand it, which is the best way, because
yeah,
normally the medicine that you take for one thing is causing damage to something else, and you
yeah,
find people go, yeah, in another direction with their illness, no. So,
yeah,
but I was talking about the traffic jam coming up, Spooner. When they fix those two bridges at the same time, I can imagine how this traffic is going to be, like in particular during the school drop off hours. And I'm
yeah,
wondering, isn't it about time we do something about that? Let's look at SJC where we both went. Because since our days, they have put some stuff in the back. There's a big parking lot there. Um, People can just actually go in, drop their kids off, turn around, and come back out. They're not allowing anybody to enter, obviously. So they have to drop off at the mouth at the entrance there, which means
yeah.
there's a backup there of traffic all the time. Not all kids jump out of the cars. They get there many times. They take their time to get out and whatnot. So I don't know if they can do something about it. Let's welcome Greg before with no further ado. And Gregory, good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Mr. Morrison. And
Good
before I
evening.
get happy birthday to your son there, G Mike. Yeah,
Oh yes, today actually is his birthday.
yeah,
He's still in Germany doing
yeah.
his thing over there. So yeah, thank you, Spooner. I'm sure he appreciates that. Uh,
No problem.
what's up?
He's a
Uh,
friend of my son. Yeah, him and my son know each other. Yeah.
yeah, they get along well. Apparently, unlike this relationship we have. Hi, Julia. Good evening. Where we
Hi,
don't
Julia.
like we don't like each other. Well, I don't like you. I don't know how you. I think that's reciprocal, no? But yeah, they seem to like each other. I don't know why. Yeah. Poor boy was born with poor taste. But
No.
anyway, yeah, man. Let's the Belize Elementary. Those kids can go around and drop off behind Mercy Lane. There's a
That is
there's a
correct.
there's an area back there coming off of Corny Drive, but they refuse to. They just clag up, and the KHMH is right there, the big hospital in front. So any traffic jam there, and a ambulance want to get in, they have to go around probably to the back now.
You're
But
saying that the BES people aren't using at the back there because they have allocated spots for them to park and drop off. So you're
well,
saying they're
that
not using it there?
I'm always there's a traffic jam every time I pass there.
Yeah,
Obviously, they're not. They either don't know, they're not encouraging it enough, but they
yeah.
certainly they just. And again, when those two bridges start, the construction and those start, we're gonna have some issues, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll only have to build China Bridge to get across, right?
I
They're,
imagine,
they're,
yeah.
so the I remember last time they fixed the swing bridge, and the swing bridge was closed for pedestrian and vehicular traffic.
Traffic.
Well, what they did is they built by the Turton building a wooden bridge across. So what
Yeah.
are they doing now? Is that I see they're building something there. Is that going to be another wooden bridge?
That
While
be
they
no,
yeah,
obviously it's gonna be better than the wooden bridge. You were talking about the pontoon bridge and give away,
yes,
or was this?
yeah,
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 long time ago.
that was like they put down a couple of barges together or something like that, and they kind of make just one plank thing. That was a disaster waiting to happen, and it did. A number of people died. That was quite some time, wasn't it? Because I was
Long
young
time
then.
ago. Yeah, I was in Belize and I had the photo lab at the time, not the cafe. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But I have not been down there regularly like I used to when I was working at the cafe. I go there very rarely, but I remember, regardless of the bridge repairs, if you catch that bloody North Front Street from Belchina Bridge to Holy Redeemer School, the traffic just block up because, like you say, everybody stop, let off, stop, let off, stop, let off. And it if I was going to work, if I miss and I was going a little bit 10 minutes late or 5 minutes to my cafe, I would be late to open up my cafe because of that. So I would forget sometimes. You just forget. You go down there, all of a sudden there's the traffic jam. So you're saying it's even worse now, yes? Are you saying it's
It's
worse?
worse, and it will get worse. I'm saying.
Yeah.
Um,
I keep wondering the wisdom of the government to be doing both those bridges at the same time. It really
I don't know that they've explained why they're doing it, Greg.
yeah,
Have you
yeah.
heard any explanation?
No, I haven't. It just doesn't make sense that that's what they're doing.
Yeah, one at
I
a time. They get one
yeah,
and do it well, put all the crew over there and let them do it quickly, and then move
yeah,
over to the next one. But
yeah.
Holy Dema also, Jeremy, shouldn't be difficult to remedy. There's a canal that runs right in in Holy Dema. I mean, I fell in there a couple of times as a kid trying to walk over iron
Yeah,
thing.
we used to do that too. We used
Yeah,
to do that too.
but I see they have covered that canal. If you go up to Barracks Road, you'll notice they covered it for at least a couple of blocks, and vehicles run along there, parking, and people who live in the back there can use it. It is no problem because obviously they use a thick slab of cement and some good foundation. They can do that. They can drive, the vehicle can drive through from New Road and make a left on that on top of the canal and come out on Northfront Street. But why is nobody even thinking about this?
Well, that's why we have engineers and traffic specialists. They're supposed to study this and try to
Yeah.
figure out what is the best path for traffic, pedestrian, and vehicle when a situation like this. Because they're going to take about a year to fix that bridge. I think, right? That's about a
No,
year.
that kind of bridge will take a couple of years to build. I mean,
The
what
swing
did it
bridge.
take for
If
what did
it's
it
done
take
well,
for
yeah.
Hanover? What did it take for Hanover Bridge? Hanover is a wider span, but they
Yeah,
have to
Haloa was long.
yeah. But that took like over 2.5 years, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to take at least a couple of years to
Well, that's a hell of a sacrifice
yeah,
we're gonna have to be making. But I
And how is
don't
it going to
know.
affect businesses too? What
yeah,
effect will it have on businesses?
yeah.
Am I just a conspiracy theorist, or is there maybe a reason why they want us to use more gas because there's a lot of tax that comes off of gasoline? I saw a lot of the only store, because like if you're going to Brody's and you're going up the Philip Golson Highway, you go into Brody's, you if you come off of the and what's that Lakeview Street or Chatham Street, you have to go all the way down, to that roundabout by Merab and come back up to go into Brody's. I don't know
Yes.
why they don't allow you to cross that meridian. The only store I see do it is Golden Bay. They cut a piece in the medium, and you can drive in off of what street that what's that street up there? Uh, the
When you Marine Parade, you're talking about
Marine
go.
Parade, Marine Parade. That's Marine Parade.
Yeah.
But why you and I remember they used to could go up Orange Street, go right across to Regent Street, and take a left and go across the bridge. Then they sent you all the way down to where Bata used to be. You remember that by
Yeah, I
Palace
know it.
Theatre, and then you come around. That's quite and people seem to have gotten used to it, but I never saw the wisdom of it.
Yeah. Well,
I
Gregory visualizes what G Mike is saying. Between Brody's is on the Northern Highway, and from there's the Rotary Club roundup, not the Rotary Club roundup. There's a roundabout by a little Mexican vegetable stall there,
correct.
and then it goes all the way up to the next roundabout, which is Benny's, and in
Yeah.
between those two roundabouts, there's Brody's.
There's no cap.
There's a
Yeah,
median in the middle, a solid median. What G
yeah.
Mike is saying that it is truth. If you want to get to Brody's, you have to
You have to go
like for
all the
me,
way up.
I have to go for me, I have to get come out of Bella Vista, take a right, go all
Right,
the way down to
right.
the other roundabout, come back down to
Correct, correct.
past Benny's roundabout, go all the way down, and come all the way back up again to
And
get
with the
into.
price of gas,
Well,
Jeremy,
what's the speed? How far is it, and what's the speed of traffic that they have allocating there? Is it 50 miles an hour?
Well, no, well, it's a major thoroughfare into the city. I wouldn't want it to be a high speed. I think people travel on average 35, 40 miles an hour. The motorcycles go faster, but it's really bad first thing in the morning and then in the evening.
correct.
But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know how you would solve that problem, because if you came out of Brody's,
yeah, yeah.
you would have to go across coming on traffic and then the other traffic coming from the north, and I think it would be
Well, no,
useless.
what you can do with Broadis though, because that's a roundabout right there, where Broadis is. You supposed to can go off of Chatham Street right across and come in the back of Broadis. I don't know who. Obviously, it's
Isn't
private property, and but I might be able to lease that
but
or buy.
isn't there a bridge right about there? Isn't there a bridge
There's
that
Chitama
that
Bridge.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
when you cross over from north
yeah,
side to south side.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes,
but
yes.
that's not in the era we're talking about,
Yeah.
because
Oh,
that bridge is there. Then you come down and you have Universal Hardware, which has
mm,
taken up a lot of space there, and they've really expanded. They're doing all kinds of stuff there. Um, but there, once you get to that spot, you cannot go across the Broadies. You have to go all the way down to the
yeah,
roundabout that Jeremy is talking about and
yeah,
come
yeah, yeah.
back up. So,
But yeah, but I'm asking how much miles is that point that to get to that second
Okay,
roundabout?
well, roughly to get from Brody's to the roundabout to turn around and come back is probably about a mile,
I would
and then
say,
it's
yeah.
about another mile and a half coming
Yeah,
around the other way.
yeah, yeah. Okay,
So
yeah.
it's probably a
So,
two and a half mile journey.
and so you're saying, Gregory, you think that's okay? That's not
I
enough to
think
come.
so. I don't. I was trying to determine, is it a conspiracy, like you were saying?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah, yeah,
I've
just
learned
me.
to live with it. I can't
yeah,
see
yeah,
any
yeah.
other
You're
way
the
out of it.
Yeah.
conspiracy, or the traffic.
Yeah, because
You,
I'll
you,
tell
you,
you something. Traffic pattern could easily be interrupted if there was to put a cut through on that median there, because people are coming down that highway at a high speed.
well,
Yeah.
Less said it's probably about
no,
30.
you're still in tongue. You're still in tongue. So I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah,
I
but you're
don't
coming
I
40 miles an hour, and if you don't see what's going on, you could slam your brakes on pretty hard and create quite a issue for other drivers. Because see, the median is not wide enough that you could completely make a turn there and then still be out of the traffic. If I
well,
remember,
it's wide enough that you put a what do you call that? A cutting a waiting area when
is
you
it wide
wait for
enough?
the.
I don't remember it being wide enough to support
It's
like
wide.
two
It's
cars.
wide enough. You can because you have the
Yeah.
street on the other side. You could do something to it.
I
Um,
think it's too dangerous. It's too
I
dangerous. This is
think
my
so.
opinion.
That's
I
what I'm
think it's too
thinking.
dangerous because not only okay, you're going out of Brody's, you have to look left for the cars coming, driving
Yeah,
up north, and then you have to keep an eye out on the traffic coming
true.
from the
The
north.
other
So
way. Yeah,
you
yeah,
run across that one road, and then you have to watch out for the other road. Now it's too
that's
dangerous.
it.
It's too
And they're
dangerous.
coming down that road.
well,
That's what I'm.
so maybe going straight off at Chetamal, because that area there's no houses there. On the other side of that roundabout, you could go around and enter. You know where the bank is? Is that Scotia Bank or what's that bank
Yeah.
right on the
But
corner
that
there?
doesn't help me because I still have to go all the way up north and
Well,
around.
we're not
I've
worried about
learned to
you.
live
We're
with
worried
it.
about the rest of us. I mean, you are right. You can afford it. We not got no problem with you. You could run
Okay.
a haloba and come back and you be all right.
You just stereotype me. That's very racist there, G Mike. You're stereotyping me.
Especially if you to do it. You are right. You don't got no problem. Um, but but that just on thought. And again, with schools opening up, no, we have to be prepared for that. And
My problem about that road there, G Mike, and I'll be very honest, due to my father being an architect and a planner, is that the amount of buildings that have gone up and are still going up are not
And no
providing enough
parking.
parking spaces on their property, and
Yeah.
they're going high. They're going 2 to 3 stories up, and hardly any parking. And coming in early in the morning, there's all these cars parked on the right hand side,
Correct. Yeah,
making a
yeah, yeah.
2-lane highway into effectively a 1-lane highway. And then
Uh,
right after the roundabouts, you got these stupid buses. And I'd have thought the commissioner of police compound would have improved that already. Stop these buses from when they come off the roundabout, stopping right on the pedestrian crossing. You come off around the roundabout, and the bus is right there. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that needs to be looked up. Traffic management. That's all it is. That's all it is. What you do 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock, no parking on the highway. From 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, no parking on the highway, and that will facilitate traffic.
that makes too much
Yeah.
That's
sense.
my opinion. My opinion
Makes too much
Yeah.
sense. We're
makes too
not.
much.
Yeah, we're not used to doing things that make sense like that. Um,
you know.
it's now. Is the BTL chairman gonna resign? Should he resign? Should he be fired?
He should resign, he should be fired. And I've said that the week after this issue broke, because it was clear to me that he was not doing his fiduciary responsibility to the stockholders in presenting and in pushing this. He has so far and so many times misinformed the citizens and the shareholders about the true role of this deal. He keeps saying this is a private company when he knows, in fact, this is not a private company. It may be a private company in the way it is structured, but in the way it has accumulated its shareholders, it is definitely not a private company. And so I always thought that he was carrying the water for someone and was not doing justice to the shareholders. I'm a shareholder of BTL, and I did not take very much pleasure in the way he was running the affairs of the corporation.
And he's
Jeremy,
also said in the news that nobody should be removed because the meeting they had was not a vote on the acquisition. Did you see that
I
tidbit
saw,
there on the
I
news?
saw, I saw that convolution that the prime minister tried to roll by us, saying that this was just a meeting to decide.
Yes.
it,
Yeah. It
in
wasn't
no
a meeting to
presentation.
vote on the acquisition. That's what he said.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
wasn't a
yeah.
meeting.
So
Yeah.
what
but
the hell was
was
the
that
meeting
true
for?
or false? Because they couldn't vote on the acquisition because it had to go through cabinet and it had to
Well,
pass the
they did
PUC.
their final vote. It seemed. It seemed like the
They,
BTL.
the chair, the board of the BTL voted that yes, they wanted to do it.
Yes, yes,
But it could not be done without
yes.
approval of course, and ensured by cabinet rejecting it. And Jeremy, you had asked if they ever reveal how the vote went in cabinet. Did you find out how it went?
No, no, the prime minister didn't want to
No,
reveal what the vote was.
no.
He kind of kept it clouded. He said cabinet discussions and cabinet proceedings are private, are confidential and secret, and he can't speak about it. But he spoke about many things about the cabinet in the past, and to have told us, they asked him the specific question if he could give them what the vote count was, and he pulled this from under the rug, trying to smother it. So
Yeah, I
I,
don't know
I
any whistleblower in cabinet, so I didn't get any information yet. So
But I wanted your opinion on it, Gregory, because it seems again the government has shown a willingness to listen to the people. What do you think?
well, I don't know. If they did listen in this instance after the people and everybody else bat them over their heads several times. I don't know that we could give them any grace for doing what they're supposed to do. That is their
You
responsibility.
sound like Joe on that one. And by the way, Joe did give us an apology. He said that he will come in late, if anything.
Okay.
But I think, though, that you have to get some kind of propers because maybe we're just being slick, pulling the rug from under the protesters because that sure did. They had a big protest plan, a day dressed in black and whatnot, and
Yeah.
our plans were made. the UDP was getting ready to jump on board and trying to get some political mileage from it. Should
Mhm.
they stay out of it, or should they really be on board of anything like this that comes up?
No, the opposition should have been leading this chart to some degree. Well, they have their role. They seem to be following. I'm not. I'm just saying that they have a role to have voiced their concern about this, because this deal was going on without proper transparency, proper disclosure, and it seemed that there was a great deal of misdirection and corruption that would have been resulted if this had happened. Because what we saw with this deal is that Smart was given contracts that was perhaps the domain of the BTL, because this is a government contract. This is a government corporation. Usually, most government, if they have a own a corporation to the degree that they have ownership in BTL, they would not be giving the contract to provide the service to a outside company. So something was amiss in how the whole structure of giving all government contracts
But wouldn't
for
that have been a more wouldn't that have been a more common sense route to go though? Instead of giving those contracts to Smart, giving them to BTL, do
That's the
show
first
them
level of
up.
corruption.
Let them not be able to survive it that you want. If they want to create a monopoly, then make sure you provide the kind of service that will garner all the customers to your side.
Well,
Because customers are going where the best deals are.
you think that was what the decision of the prime minister and his brothers was when they awarded themselves
Well,
the BTL contract to Smart? You
yeah,
think they were
yeah.
looking out for the interests of the people of Belize? There's no indication that that is. Um, they did not give us the evaluation, the reasons. They did not give us the cost structure and anything. That's where they cloud some of this into private corporation dealing. BTL is public enough. I think probably about 70% of the shares of BTL is owned directly by the public or public institutions such as the Social Security Board. There's no reason to be shielding how this company operates from the general previewing of the public. The way the government went about giving Smart that contract shows a bit of deceit and undermine that happened to BTL. And it's not the first time that happened to BTL. In the creation of Smart, BTL was undermined. The Said Musa government spoke about this. And there were times when assets, real tangible assets of BTL, was bought as surplus items and then sold off, said, oh, we don't need it, and sold off to Smarts at pennies on the dollar, so that the creation of Smart could evolve and evolutionize and develop to the company it was. There's been a lot going on with this Smart over
The
the
Yeah,
optics didn't look good. It looks like they were accommodating Smart.
but
They were looking.
this is it though, because you're going somewhere, Greg, where everybody is not going, and Joe in particular was trying to show why it was such a good deal, and the evaluators came in and they say yes, it's worth the 80 million. But the creation of Smart from the very
yes,
beginning,
yes,
that is where the problem was. So you're going to create that, give a person the opportunity to make some money. Then after they get to the point where they say, well, all right, we're making enough, or we're not making what we thought we'd make, so we want to sell it back to you, but you have to bail us out. You got to pay us 80 million now then for us to give you back what you gave us for nothing.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
I had heard somewhere too where if there was a part of the deal where if they waited 10 years, they could get all this back for pennies as opposed
Well,
to.
I don't think Smart had that same deal as the BL um, dam. But what Mr. Joe was saying, there's some merit in that. There's merit that a monopolistic adventure has what they call the scale to
Yeah,
make
yes, I
it
understand that.
fair.
Yes,
So
because
so
there was small country,
market.
Yeah,
yeah,
and the cost consumer base that are not that big,
yeah,
that
yes,
you could support two or more big
yes,
companies. That
yes,
I agree with that. But they knew that from the start it didn't get
yes,
small, it grew. So
yeah,
if it's too small now, it was too small then. So
yes,
why? Because we have monopolies in electricity, we have
yes,
monopolies in water. These are the
yes,
essential services. I
yes,
think now you could say that communication now is an essential service.
yes,
And
yes,
not only that, apparently the equipment, and I heard the argument that, well, we don't worry about the equipment, we worry about the customer base. Because the equipment will be obsolete in very
yes,
little time.
yes,
Uh,
yes,
right now, a lot of people that like cable. People aren't even watching cable anymore. Okay, if you got what you call it, the stick, the flash drive, the flash,
yes, yes. You
Or smart
stream,
TV.
you
yeah,
could get all the programs, everything.
yeah, yeah,
You get the news on your phone if that the news you want. So, like if the cable company going to say to the government, no, here we want to sell out now. Then you don't want to
yeah,
buy it from we, knowing damn
yeah,
well that they don't got nothing left for hold on to, no.
yeah, yeah.
Then,
It was
then
a scheme. It was a
yeah,
scheme.
I bail out. I bail out.
A
I bail
Yeah.
out.
bailout. That's what it appears to me. A bailout. Yeah.
But you know what? Do you know what is something also important that they have not told us and we don't know about? Is there a non-complete clause if we had bought smart? What would have stopped these people to sell us these obsolete technology and then turn around and invest in the Elon Musk Skylink
And come back
project?
again with another wheel and come again, as they say.
Exactly, exactly. So I'm glad we turned this down for so many reasons because it seems to me like it would have been a scab and a burn that we would never get over
What?
Why didn't they put it out for bid? Why was it not put out for bid?
because
Do you
there's no
think that
other
maybe
fool out
they
there.
Yeah,
were
because
afraid that no investor?
they didn't want anybody just to buy it. They want to merge with BTL because of the fact that they don't want two companies. They wanted to make it a monopoly. So if somebody else had bought it, you still have the same problem
Yeah.
of the two of them sharing it.
I don't think they were looking out for the interest of anybody other than themselves. If they could have sold it for to BTL or sell it to a private buyer, but there's no other fool out there except would have been the people the shareholders of BTL and the which includes the general public, the government of Belize, and the Social Security Board.
And,
It was
Can I
and
ask
quite
you, Gregory, because you're an engineer and you seem well versed in the technology and so on, what is it that Smart has presently that is either obsolete now or will become obsolete in the very near future? That's why it's not worth the investment
okay.
to buy.
It's generally the technology, the switching station, all that type of stuff is old. And not only is it old, it is equipment and it is technology that BTL already have. So whatever they were buying from Smart would not have allowed them to increase their capacity in any way that BTL needs. It is redundant to what BTL has already. So
now,
it was not going to strengthen BTL in any way. So they leaned on, oh, you're buying the customer base. Those customers will in time, when Smart continue to not be able to perform and provide the
correct,
services,
correct,
will
correct.
move over to
That's what
BTL.
I'm saying. That's the part that they're not talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, what's this story with Starlink? Is it Starlink? Um,
Starlink, yes.
yeah. Well,
Hey,
oh, in
Mr.
the
Vic is
house.
here.
Yeah. Are we gonna let him in, or are we gonna?
I don't know.
Oh,
Is he going to behave himself tonight?
oh, we
Does
gotta let
he?
him in.
He doesn't know how
Huh?
to. He
Well,
doesn't know.
he's okay. Joe is not here, so he's
Yeah.
okay. Joe's not here.
That's for
Oh,
you,
I'm
oh,
number
Jeremy.
turn that
one
down.
too.
Turn
I'm
that
number
down.
one.
That's for you, Jeremy. Yeah, but Dickie, good evening, sir. How you go?
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good
Yes,
evening,
sir.
sir.
Look like we finish up the supper. Um,
Welcome to the south side of Belize City.
you're
Welcome to the
not,
Here
north
we are.
side
you're
over
not on
here.
the south side of Belize City unless you're coming from the office.
As
And
we
Gregory's
speak,
really north side. He way up there on the north side and west.
one
I
one
mean,
city, one city, one country, one people.
I like
Yes.
that. I
Remember
like
that.
that. I prefer that.
Remember
That
Well,
division.
you know what? You say that, and that makes me think about how I constantly see that our society and our country is disfavoring the Creole man, Creole woman, Creole people. And I'm not saying anything that you don't know, Jeremy. You shook your head there and lift up like you got a kind of a alert, like this is new to you.
Here we
But
go
I'm
again.
seeing it. I'm seeing it in every aspect of how our government is moving about and functioning. I look at the people around the prime minister at different times, and I'm saying, where is the Creole man? And I look,
Where's Cordell Hyde? Where's Devon Daly?
well,
Token
They,
blacks,
they,
token black,
oh, get out of here, man. Cordell, you call Cordell and Token Black?
token blacks.
All the counselors and no, man. I don't know. I think we have to get past that at some point and look at
Can't.
Belizean, the
but not at
Belizeanness of a
not at
person.
this
Oh, you
moment.
can't. You have to. We have to.
Well, let me share my take on the matter. We we are a unique country for many reasons, one of which is the great diversity of our various ethnic groups.
Yes,
There are
Multi ethnicity.
probably few countries can boast
yeah,
the kind of mixtures that we almost take for granted.
yes, yes,
The people who have been here in this region and in this part of the world for literally thousands of years, whom we call the Mayas, and then what little history I know, the Garinago are also mixtures from the Carib Indians out in the Caribbean Sea. They were not mainland people as far as I can tell, but there is a story in their tradition and history that they ended up mixing with a shipwreck of Africans, which changed their color. And then, of course, you have the
Blackwash is
Mennonites,
called.
the East Indians who came just at the close of slavery
yeah,
in the country.
yes.
And we tend to talk about Central Americans and we tend to talk about the mestizos as if they are one. But a closer look would see that there is some diversity among them,
Great diversity.
although they are primarily the mixture between Spain, Spanish, and the different
Yeah,
groups that were in this region when they arrived. And there are lots of little smaller offshoots, mainly the impressive Mennonites who have moved way beyond their agrarian entry into the country. So
well,
that is quite an awesome mixture that we have always lived in harmony with each other.
Relative harmony. Because we still
Well,
got to.
it's not
no,
relative.
we live in great harmony. We live in great harmony.
But then,
We
so
all
what you're
because we
saying
went and
then,
fought the
Gregory,
Battle of St. George's Key together. We went
yeah,
out
so
there
then what
together.
you're saying doesn't hold water if you talk about the disenfranchisement of the Creole.
Well, I'm
I'm
Because
coming
talking
to
we,
that.
we
personally
either
now.
live in harmony or we
No,
don't.
no, no. I'm talking. We
Yeah, but
don't take up arms against each other, but there's this hostility, underlying hostility that's now
Well,
becoming
then
more
that's why I say
prominent.
relative to what we're looking at. If we're talking about taking up arms, then fine, we're okay, we're not doing that. But when
Yeah,
it comes to the animosity, it exists.
yeah,
well,
yeah. But a lot of people of the diversity that we have taken up arms against each other, have taken
Okay,
rocks and
okay.
sticks
So
and
then, so
moved
you
about.
argue, you're agreeing with what I'm saying. The relative,
I am
that the
agreeing.
word. I don't know you're gonna take objection to that, but
No,
in
I would, but
relative harmony.
I'm showing the discreteness and the binary differences that exist between relative of just peaceably and goodwill, and the extent to which many grouping of this similar makeup result in real hard actions. and the potential exists if we keep pushing this communal land that some sort of violence could break out, because those are always the flashpoint of it: land, property.
I
And so
wouldn't,
that's
I wouldn't, I wouldn't want to subscribe to the last two sentences because it is written somewhere that a little explanation can go a long way. And I don't know, I have a little idea where it comes from, but this idea that the Mayas have gotten this lot of land and there is some kind of um, like a unfair for them people to get so much land because they never got nothing, and they want to exclude the rest of the ethnic groups from down south and the this and then that. That is a narrative that is coming from quarters which have a different agenda. It is a great achievement right here in our country that the poorest of the poor, because they are not a money economy, because they have not been exposed to American television and materialism and all the other factors, does not mean that we who know a little bit more about the value of land should feel any kind of way that almost all of a sudden, last 10, 15 years, a court decision supports international law and local law and pronounce that those persons have a right, a moral and legal right to the lands of their ancestors.
So then we have to get in the whole country
No,
and, and more.
that's not what they're claiming. They have accepted that they have moved away from Belize City and moved away from Cayo and from North, and they are satisfied with.
But there are a lot of Mayans up north. That's not
It
what
no
most
matter. They're
countries.
not claiming. It doesn't matter. They're not claiming that.
Not
That is what
yet,
is
not
important.
yet. But what do you think will happen when this president is set?
The precedent has already been set. They have put in their claims, and it has been recognized. They can't come now to start to spread it further. It no work
Well,
like that.
that's what they're doing. That's what the alliance seem to be doing. The government did make a kind of a rough idea of saying from this village we'll consider this many kilometers of claim, and
Strictly, but
they
it's strictly
outrightly
down. It's strictly down south. It's strictly
yes,
down
yes.
south. Let's
But
not.
then it resulted, Mr. Bradley,
Sorry.
in almost, as it resulted, the claim that they're pushing versus what was offered to them, it resulted in almost 70 or 80% of the district of PG.
Yes, man. If it ain't land, man, make we no make
So
a
what
big
happened?
deal
What
of it.
It's
happened
not
to
enough to
the?
their land. It's
What
enough
about
to
the?
their
What
land.
about the East Indians that you were talking about that came?
Yeah.
What about the Garino group that came?
You hear
And
what I
all,
said?
and they settled
You,
down there too.
you hear what they said? They came. They not just come.
Oh,
These
Well,
people were here. These people were here long before Columbus was born.
come on now.
So we can't get in a, let's not get in a these kind of arguments. These people were here for thousands of
yeah, but
years.
you can declare
But
that
that's not the
decay as
same
if
people.
no, no,
Those
no.
people built the pyramid. There's no doubt that maybe they were involved, or at least they were worshiping in it when the other original people may have left that built it. That the Mayans were there, but we can't just give all that we have now and the only bit that we have to a group of people that just over the last 30, 40, 50 years migrated into Belize from Guatemala as a result of all the civil unrest those countries were having.
No, the Mayas were always here.
They were always, but not in the numbers. The people that
The,
are
the
what's
numbers,
creating this
the
village of
numbers is
claim
the
now.
numbers is not the issue. They were
The numbers
always
are
here.
the issue because the
Sorry?
numbers are what displacing. The numbers are
No,
what displacing the natural community that has existed for 200 years. The East Indian, the Garifuna, all those
The East Indian were offered a deal, come work for a certain amount of years, we and give you a piece of land. They don't have the kind of claim the Mayas have. We're
Right.
not to conflate this thing. The
Who were
Maya,
going to give them that land?
the East Indians,
The
Yes,
British were supposed to, just as they were
the
supposed to be
British.
the
the
civil
British,
servant.
the
Right.
white
The
man.
British who then took that land and decided that this is ours.
Yeah.
You go back to that same old Israeli Palestinian argument, which are tricky because you can't argue on two sides depending on
Come
where it
on.
went.
Israel and Palestine just come about when the British come up with the Balfour
Again, the
Declaration.
British, of course, the British again did
Yes, but
that.
that the 19 change, man. That just the other day, man. Think nobody they claim the
Mr. Bradley, the population of Mayans that I sorry we diverted into this part because that's not where I wanted to focus. But the Mayans that were here through the establishment of the colony of Belize and the settlement were a relatively small fraction of people. And if you look at the British census of those individuals, it was small. And I know the British weren't intent on keeping all the records, but still, what we have had is that there have been significantly number of Mayans that have occupied Belize over the last 50 years that are now pressing this claim and making it dangerous,
no man.
corruption.
No man.
Yes,
That
man.
that those are not the facts. The bottom line is, and where they get a little distracted, guy, I didn't want to. The bottom line is that for thousands of years, before there were any boundaries, before any white man sailed from Europe to this part of the world, those people were here.
Of course.
But,
That
but
is
you,
not
you,
that is
you
not in
know,
dispute. That is
But,
not in
but
dispute.
that doesn't give them the claim to what we have now.
yeah, my
In
argument
fact,
on
the
that
whole
is
cart
that
has been upset. The whole apple
Listen,
cart
let's
has been
not
upset.
listen. We are barking. We are barking at the moon. The decision is cast in stone that they were always here and that they are correct to ask that
you
the
know
lands down south be theirs communally. We
when
Creole
you
not have the same. We Creole not have the same claim.
why
They just
are
wanted to
you are
control.
you what are the stupidity of it, Dickie? Because you know who was always here, who was born here. I have always been here,
You
and
just come here, man.
I just kind of my foot. Boy, I
You
got
them got
my
100.
I
You
got
them got 100 years. You
I
they
got
argue.
I got Mayan quarter in on me. So what
You
I do
no
about that now? When
even.
you want to just reject that out of me, you want to tell me I no got
You
no
not
right.
even there 100 years. You
Who
know
me?
that.
Who me? Who? Where? Who me? How do
All
you
away.
define me?
All away.
Well, all right. So what the part of me that's Mayan? Because I got Mayan back there. I do.
All away gonna leave it a thing, but
I
that one
got
again.
grandma
All
that's
away.
Mayan. So
All
then I
away.
have a right then to claim that. You want to tell me
Claim
I
what?
just claim. Man,
Go to
indigenous status.
go to go
Indigenous
to
status.
listen, go to PG go make your claim, man. We don't get into that. The point
So,
is,
so only PG you could claim.
yes, man, the people are satisfied that down south
Uh,
is where they are concentrated from generation to generation. When you read what little history there is about Belize in terms of the early years, you will see that the white settlers keep complaining to their masters in Jamaica that these Indians keep breaking into their space and attack them and then melt into the jungle. But that is just by the by. What I wanted to do was to take up Gregory's statement from this point of view that we are blessed. We are blessed that we all live in harmony despite whatever reservations some of us might harbor. It's a great blessing that we are different ethnic groups living with each other. We've never resorted to what transpired in Rwanda in just maybe three decades, less than 3 decades, where the Hutu and the Tutsi
Yeah.
slaughtered each other to the tune of 1 million of their people, kill up one another.
And
Hutu, hate
they're
Tutsi,
basically the same people.
and sorry,
I said they're basically the same people. The Hutu and the Tutsi, they're basically the same people.
Well, that even manifests the argument some more because we all are not the same people.
That's correct. That's correct.
But we have a great whatever it is that keep us together. We have to be thankful and blessed that we do not look at each other like that.
Yeah. And
Yeah. So
to ensure that it,
what I was leading up to is I wanted to support you, even though I know Creole is a diversity of various bits
yeah,
and pieces of the tribes which we read in our limited history that we had Igbos,
uh-huh,
Coromante, we had people from different tribes in Ghana, Nigeria, several of the western portions of the continent of Africa. And maybe if we have sociologists among our midst in this day and age, they could help us to understand why, although I know nothing much about the other ethnic group, I do know that we Creoles we are still, we not trust one another. We can't go in a business with one another. We can't go in because first of all of we, most of we don't have no money. But the little bit where we don't want to try one thing, we just not trust one another. We come out on one background where we badmouth one another.
yeah,
If we see somebody right now in the last 10, 15, 20, 30 years, we see any of our own kind look like then they prosper and build one all right house, then they drive around with a all
yeah,
right vehicle and so on. The first thing when I say you're saying they go on like that, you don't know that Morrison that drugs in the cell, that's why he got kind of, we just think negative about ourselves and each other.
But you see how you're the filibuster. I allow you to talk, right?
Please.
Let me speak when I speak. So go ahead. I'll listen
Okay,
because
so
I have a point to make too.
I wanted to support the idea that we Creoles are getting a raw deal in this wonderful Belize, and that it's a discussion that we need to have. It's a public discussion that needs to be visited again and again.
Who's giving us the raw deal?
Well, that is a big question because a lot of it is ourselves. A lot of it is the people who we have in leadership position, not just political, but
yeah,
religious, community
yeah,
wise, and so forth.
yeah.
No white man to do we anything, we to do
Mhm.
itself. And
I see
it's
Jerry
a
Smart, Jeremy
discussion,
Smart.
it's a discussion that needs to be had. It's a discussion that we should have it here and try to take it into the wider community, both the diaspora and locally, that we could get a better sense of some of the things that we can do as a group, as a tribe, as an ethnic conglomeration. We can do things to help to better ourselves generally. And one of those things have to be that an undisputed champion of education. It is only being
Yes, yes,
educated that
yes.
the Creole masses can lift themselves out of this rut that they are into.
Education, as in teaching what? I mean,
All forms of education now have
how,
to be
how, how
formal.
about how about just how to think, how to figure things out for yourself?
You can't
Now,
think.
now, 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 give me a minute though. Give me 1 minute
Yeah.
because I believe it was Martin Luther King who said, "Judge not a man by the color of his skin, but the content of his character." Now, Belize are one small nation, and again, multi-ethnic as such. When are we gonna? Well, all of it bond, if we cut, all of it bleed red. All of it bond the same way. The ball wet and full of shit. All of us. The same, every man, every woman. Now we bond into an area where after 1945, they defined the borders and they say, well, this is one country that, for sake of clarity, if you're born in a certain country, in particular, like Belize, you are a citizen. Why can't we look at each other as citizens of this country? And you could say, all right, if you're born here, or you could say if you're naturalized, then I don't know if you want to get in all the benefits of the same citizen that's born here, that's a different argument. But at the end of the day, we're citizens of this country, and we can look at each other as citizens and work together, whether we be from one race or the not, given that we have so many different and none being superior to any other. Is that too far-fetched to consider even?
No,
That's
that's part of the
that.
mix. That's part of the mix. But we have
Those who deserve more than
the
others.
opportunity, the basic opportunity. And maybe if I give you what I'm thinking, example would be the arrival of the Mennonites to our country. And one of the things that their success story, their fabulous success story, is based on, we think as Creoles, is that they work with each other.
Yes.
They do what, anywhere you look to see if there is kind of success, or they have moved beyond their excellent ability where they cleared the jungle. In the meantime, they feed themselves. In the meantime, they reach a stage where they sell portions of their crops to the rest of the country. They move now, they no longer the Mennonites where self-sufficiency and also selling a goodly portion of the things they grow. They have branched out into other economic activity that makes them even more prosperous. And so, lack of education among we Creoles, lack of leadership, the appearance of token black people like the names you called earlier, who offer nothing to the Creoles, who not have nothing to say to them, who not do nothing for them,
That's
is
correct.
also part of the problem we have, because in Belize City, which is the home of the Creoles, this of the we headquarters,
Belize
in
district,
Belize
yeah.
City, I never cease to be amazed. I live on the road, so when I go into the city, if I go one way or the other way, and it is in the evening and the night, man, you just see the Creole and pack up at the Chinese shop to get one Chinese chicken. And one of the things we think we are very good at is that our women can cook. We not shitting on the cooking. We could flavor food and make it taste nice. But yet the Chinese are literally depositing hundreds of thousands of dollars just by fast food.
So you got from
We have
Mennonites to
gained.
Chinese,
Because it's
though.
cheap and
Sorry?
convenient.
You got from Mennonites to Chinese.
Yeah, they make the point. The
I
point
know, I
is
know.
right in front of our eyes.
Have these
We
people,
can see, make I just finish this sleep part. Right in front of our eyes, we can see the Mennonites progressing by leaps and bounds. They are diversifying, they are spreading out into other activities. We have seen the Chinese come here and gone into supermarket, and I will tell you the story of that shortly. But apart from supermarket, they have cornered the fast food business among a people who can cook, among a people who not take no shame, not take no shame that every corner you look Chinese they sell $1 5. It's now $8 and $9 and $10. They sell chicken, just chicken, my boy, just chicken.
but they can put it in a music narrative, but they point to no kind of uh, um, progressive solution, if you will. Are these people Belizeans? Did they blend into the Belizean fabric? Are they now considered Belizeans, or how are they still something else? Somebody were just clear.
They-
They're not
They're definitely
Chinese.
Belizeans. They're definitely Belizeans now to the extent, but for many of those people, they have an escape hatch, right? If things get pressure, they could go somewhere else. The Belizean Creole
Well,
is,
we got our states.
but for the states, has become unreachable for many today.
Well,
They,
well,
they,
well.
they, it has changed, and I don't know if it'll change back because America will have the need for immigrants and stuff
So
in the
so
future.
so, so will
Well,
this
the thing we need to
diverse.
ask ourselves is how many Belizeans are willing, like the Chinese, to rent the downstairs of an establishment, live in the back, and have the front where then just open
Oh,
up from 6:30 in the morning till
yeah,
10:30 at night.
yeah.
How many Belizeans are willing to do that 7 times a week?
Well, we used
There's
to.
a discipline. There's a discipline issue, and there's a reason why the Chinese and them prosper over us as Creole and Belizeans. There is a reason. We're not. I'm not saying there isn't a reason for all that's happening, and it's all somebody else's fault.
What are the
And
reason? What kind of reason you got?
well, the disciplines, like
They're
Stephen
lazy.
mentioned,
We're lazy. We lazy. We don't
Work
want to put in
ethics
the
for a
work that's
start.
necessary.
I don't know. It's lazy as much as we would. There's some discipline issue, but I don't know if it's laziness. I think we have a higher expectation of how we should live, and in not addressing the very lowest step, it has creeped that we are now living the lowest we could actually be living.
Is
So
it a
so
part of the education, the lack of education,
yeah,
or
a
wrong
lack of
education?
education, a lack of discipline, a lack of understanding business,
Lack
and
of support by the government? Or which
a
one?
lack of support, and a lack, I was going to say a lack of opportunity. We are not taught to be entrepreneurs. We are
But
not
Or
taught,
vision, lack of vision.
didn't these people create their own opportunities though from what
but they have
existed
a
there?
history of entrepreneurship. They have a history, and they come together. These people, they are able to raise capital, and
But,
they
but,
have
but
the.
Gregory, does entrepreneurship come from history or from a will of the people to
It comes from many things. It comes from trust, I believe. It comes one of the things like Dickie mentioned earlier, we are not able to pull our money together and trust each other and work with each other to say, you put $25, I put $25, we'll have $500 and we'll do this project. It is hard for us,
so
and that's no under,
is that a trait of our ethnicity, or while the other
it
ethnicities
seems to
have it,
be it
we
seems to be
don't?
and I look at it even in the United States. I don't want to drift off to that, but we look and people always say we have all these billionaires in America that are black, but yet they can't come together and do some of the basic needs of the society to that would satisfy both all American, no matter of your ethnicity. So it is something that has gone awry with us as a people through whatever conditioning we have endured through colonization, slavery, and all that. That puts us not able to work with each other. And we have to break that as a people, and we have to start. What I'm saying, the government, to me, should be an impetus to try and address this because these people are smart enough to know this. They know what the condition is, and they need to work to try to address it and to build institutions that will allow us to work together and cooperate. But for politics, it they don't want that. Anyway, I turn it back over.
Can I just throw into the mix that it is my limited understanding. The Mennonites children they don't go to college. You know, they know waste time to go to no college. Then they learn to drive tractor, then they
They
learn
learn trade.
they
Yes,
are
yes,
right. They trade
yeah,
there.
yeah.
The other thing too I should mention, because I happen to have been told this by some Chinese, that the Chinese from mainland China, they can they can access what is probably like maybe the best way I could describe it is like the DFC or the National Bank in their country.
Hmm.
They can access what is for us in Belize quite a large sum of money. They can get five up to $10 million, and that is how they are able to put up these huge supermarket buildings where downstairs provide all the material you need to buy. Upstairs is warehouse, and if there's a third floor, it's also warehouse, but they live there too.
Hmm.
Now, this might be an unfair comparison, but with our limited capital, we can see our Belizean brothers and sisters build some nice house. And house they cost 300 to 4. But guess what? When you put that kind of money in a building and it's just a house, bring back nothing, bring back,
You living in it. You're working like a slave.
yeah. So as you all talk, I wanted to share that because I have a couple Chinese I work for, and
Yeah,
eventually this is what they said to me when I said, how come you
yeah,
could
yeah.
do that,
So yeah, they access financing from China that allows them to make their
And they
research.
help and they help one another. And let me
Yeah,
share this with you,
But that
gentlemen.
is foreign investment then, wouldn't that be? Foreign investment coming into Belize where is that
yeah, but it doesn't come in like that. It come in
Yes,
like personal.
you could look at it
well,
like that.
it's spent here. I mean, spent in Belize.
No,
Government
no, no. But I'm saying
government
it's
does
not
tax
like
some of it, doesn't it? Does
you
government
think you
tax it
think
at
you
all?
you think you
No,
think when
government.
those
No.
custom truck park in front of those places and unloading, the taxes is being paid to the government. The
And
Yes,
government,
they ought to be.
I
If
think,
they're not,
I think all condition is showing us that when these custom officers and this is where part of the corruption is
well,
and
that's
where
a
part
part
of
of
the
the
problem
problem.
is.
We
Yes,
corruption
yes.
when I'm going there because that exists.
no,
No,
but
no,
that
no.
is that is
But I'm
important.
saying,
That is
Of
important
course, it's
because
important. I'm not dismissing it. I'm saying it's
okay,
yeah.
important, but to the current conversation we're having, and that
No,
we
it
will
is
have
quite
that, and
important,
that's
and
another conversation.
that's why we could see some of those individuals that work for the government build 3, 4 houses, and the people that they are serving are not getting the benefit of the revenue from the income tax. So everybody is prospering except the state. Everybody's getting something under the table.
So the accounting is the problem because the government ought to be getting its share, number one, and whether they'll put it back into where it should go, that's a different question. But
That
again, though, I don't know. And I hear you saying that the Chinese access this kind of money from their government. But again, if they access it and bring it into the country, spend it in the country, build these buildings and whatnot, they're not like they're not do like Williamson, pick it up and carry the building and all when they go, correct?
uh, yeah,
but
if
that is an isolated
a building
situation.
really doesn't do anything if it's not part of a production capability that increase the wealth of the nation.
By the
And
way,
that
you see the lines going to Melcher, how we work on that, how we fix that. And the many buses that go every Saturday morning
yeah.
and leave, they could go to
And
Pomyari and see them line up.
and government needs to do something about that. These are the relief pressure that government allows to create the peace that we have in terms of the pressure point of not having people suffering from starving and not having the things they want, and then keep the harmony of the state, but not really doing its job. Those are the real problems because we're losing significant amount of revenue. If government needs to do something to stop these people by increasing and making more available resources in the country so people don't have to be spending their money, that's not benefiting Belize at all. And this has been going on for 50 years or more. And still the government haven't figured out how to
It's a
solve basic
yeah,
problem.
yeah, it's a serious problem, very serious. But Spooner's mentioned something which triggered my thoughts as well, which I want to share, which is that we can't, we can't totally, well, clearly we can't discount the the situation of the Creoles that they are the descendants of slaves, and as a result of that, it must be because slavery wasn't like only 10, 20, 15 years or something like that. Slavery was over 100, 200 years.
400 years, actually.
244 years, I think.
How much?
244 years in Belize.
I don't think it was that long in our country. I think the
It
the,
was
the, the
it
people
was
who
from like
It wasn't
passed
that
through.
intense, but I think it was, at the end of
yeah.
the day, when it was quite a
I
long
think
time.
someone told me 244 years, but I
I
don't
think the
know.
first the first slave is recorded as being here in 1712 or sometime like that. Remember, with a recent country,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
um, as compared to others. But
yeah.
Spooner said something, and I wanted to throw that in the mix because I have had occasion to consider that to be important because of where we come from, which is almost like nowhere. Because it's not that they picked us up in Nigeria and brought us here. It never work like that. All kind of different ethnic groups, tribes mix up and so on. But let me read what one of our listeners is saying. Many Afro-Caribbean Creole communities descended from the Mosquito people, an indigenous group on the Caribbean coast of present-day Nicaragua and in Spanish and British Honduras. Their ancestors were indigenous peoples living in the area before European contact, and they have been indigenous to the Western Hemisphere for as long as the Mayas have existed on the Americas. Sir, that is a very true and good statement
It is. It
because
is.
in the 1770s, the the Spain gave the British permission to cut wood further than they had previously given them. And one of the conditions was there to remove their settlement from Nicaragua.
Yes, yes. And
And
the Bay Islands.
they complied, and the amount of Mosquito Indians, along with African slaves and the white people that were brought to Belize, the history book says that the population was doubled. Wasn't a
Yeah.
big population, but
So
No,
what do
went to
we
like
give? What do we
went
give
to
to the
like
mosquito
6,000.
Indians? What do we
Went to
give
sorry,
to
like
the? What do we give to the mosquito Indians?
we not
Since
give them nothing.
I said we're getting Mayans though, the
But
Toledo district.
you could find any mosquito Indians wrong Belize.
Well, many of us are descendants of the mosquitoes.
We got the mosquito blood in there.
Yes, like we
You
gotta
could
be
find
other
any
well,
blood.
group.
they,
You could
they
find any
have
group of
Mayans because
mosquito.
they keep trickling across the border from Guatemala. That's why we have this strong continued influence
There are
of
no. Let me tell
Maya.
you something else while we're up on that topic. My personal opinion. There were enough mosquito Indians in this country at one time.
There was.
There were enough East Indians in this country at one time. You go tell me where those people are as a group. They have died out. They have disappeared. The next
Or
person
they
on
have
that
or they have
list,
blended or they have blended into the
Well,
community of
I saw this young lady check-in a while ago, Deidre, and she is working with a group, a guy I believe his name is Ariel Hamilton, and they're forming a mosquito kind of group, if you will, and to try to get some clarity on that. But I'm saying to you, if you saying the guy said a true statement and a good statement, and he said that the mosquito were here along with the Mayan, or maybe even before the Mayan, then if the Mayan are gonna get somewhere, then the mosquito should too. Because even if you can't find them now, then they're somewhere, or did they just
mosquito
we just
mosquito people are dead out, man.
all of them dead out.
no, but the
But I
Mayans is
wanted
a
to say,
continuous
Greg,
flow.
hold on, because I'm losing my train of thought. I wanted to say
Okay.
what Spooner's mentioned is this for me. There is much truth that the Creoles. I see this with my own eye as a child growing up. Like let's say for we parents they had one board house in our yard. And as we the turn man breed one girl, we want closing the downstairs because of the hurricane our people start to switch to building on posts on the distance off of the ground. But we the thought doesn't come to us maybe right now in 2020s or a couple 10, 20 years ago, maybe. But we don't think like this. That I want my own land and my own house to carry my own gal to. We going to close in downstairs. We going to knock up on these shop in at the back of the yard. Three, four house then at the yard, and that not trouble we. That the no one shame, that the no one problem. That is just a reflection of our very, very, very limited resources.
But I don't know that on general condition. I think there's some who are like that, but I don't think that something that you could
Yeah,
say, well,
man.
we're like that because and something that you said that's wrong. We didn't switch to building on post because of hurricane. We used to build on post because of hurricane, but because of the same thing you're saying, we switched into closing it downstairs and making a room down there,
But
which puts us in trouble when hurricanes do come. No.
but that we picnic do it, don't know we.
Okay.
The city of Belize when I was a child, the city of Belize City, stop right back at St. Ignatius. I just personally go there when we the runway. They had the slaughterhouse like almost right where the market they know the Khaled Canal. There was a big wooden place there which was the slaughterhouse where they actually bring the cow and then slaughter them in there. Can we just go and peep through the side and see one stabbing at them back in over by the head and the cow fell down. And beyond that there was nothing. Swamp and on the right hand.
Are you crazy? Are you crazy, Dickie Bradley? I
Yeah,
grew up on Cemetery Road, shouting distance from the very ground. We had the Rogers Stadium, which was Edwards Park back then.
this
We
is what
had
I'm saying to
private
you.
baseball in.
This is what I'm
But
saying
you
to
say
you.
this was after Slaughterhouse,
When
Dickie.
you jump Slaughterhouse, Belize City, the country, and the fact that they closing Roger Stadium some years afterwards doesn't say that there was a city beyond that. The Bering Gong, that the Bering Gong will be the next thing. And on the
But
right
Berengong
you,
was the
side,
end of the city because you had
yes,
Turnell. Turnell had his business there
Turner
on
was there, and
Cemetery
I was
Road.
big
You
business
had
on
Mrs.
Cemetery
Hoy,
Road.
Shirley Hoy
Thank
family
you.
right there on Cemetery Road. You
So
had Roger Stadium. Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
objecting to, well, it was Edwards Park. I don't know what, but that's a different argument. But at the end of the day, it did not end there. It might have ended for you who never know where to go on back there. But
yeah,
and I must have been before you. The key, how old you?
that's never the back of Bering Gong, man. Listen, make we no argue about where party stop that this side or that side. The Belize City was small.
You may know about Prisoner Creek.
Yes, we just go beat the boy.
All right, all
So
right.
But people
So
are
Belize
asking
City
why
was
they
small.
call it Prisoner Creek and nobody could answer it.
because the prisoners dug it. I mean, that's all. And the prisoners
Okay.
went back there and dug that creek. And I don't know if
Okay.
done before.
Because Hector Silva
Catchment.
called in the morning stew and he didn't know the answer.
Yeah, not a prisoner's billet. I ban and grew there. I watched that happen. In fact, I saw it, dog.
I
Really.
think it was just anyhow. I don't know. But the point is that Belize City was small,
Yes, it
and
was.
the
We'll go along with that. Yeah.
yes, and the situation was that the Creoles they kept crowded up right in our small area because where was I the other day? Yeah, I was at somewhere. Where was I? I think maybe it's there's a village just before Arinjoak town. Um, anyhow,
Carmelita.
Carmelita. Listen, go put three of we lot there, one of the lot the Carmelita. Belize City is really congested.
You make a good point, Vicky, because that is one of the reasons I believe we suffered some of the problem we do in Belize. Because the government has consistently failed, repeated government have consistently failed to make land available for these communities that are locked in and stressed and unable to grow and develop by not doing the basic thing that government has the responsibility to do, and that is making land available for the people so that they can develop. We wouldn't have had all this tension, all this gang stress and stuff, I believe, if land was made available through surveying these lands in all of these outreach
What do you
areas in
do?
these
What do you do
districts.
about people who, when the government makes land available to them, just turn around and sell it or left it there
some of them will do that, and that's their right.
Not,
Some of
not,
them
not
will do
wrong with
that.
that,
So
man.
I was
We
serious.
poor, and we try to make a little money. Not wrong with
Right.
your
Yeah,
part.
but then you can't complain to the about say the
Yes, we
government of the
could
give land.
complain because why?
No,
So
yes,
if you
yes,
give them
yes.
more, are you to give people like that more land, make
You,
them do that too?
Yes, that we the country,
you
why
should
can't
give
get two
people
land?
land. You should give people land. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
But
want,
that's a
I
little
that's
bit
just I think it.
different. That's a
I
little
want
bit
to say
different.
another thing which is in this mix, which is in this mix. Same way we can't dodge away from that we are the descendants of slaves who had nothing, and then their children had nothing, and their children had nothing, and then here we are
Yeah,
also have nothing.
yeah.
Where you going?
I think
I
he's
don't know.
kind
You
of
just went
close.
quiet for me.
I think he
Yeah,
kind of close.
I think it
Yeah,
freeze on that.
I, I, I,
There is a God. Because I don't know who got nothing. I got life.
All still
Life is
together,
everything. They
Okay,
give
and
a
Rich
that
lot.
is back again.
we
before that.
missed what he said. Children have nothing, parents, and
Okay,
we
no,
have
all
nothing.
right. I was saying that in terms of being a country, in terms of being a people, and remember we grew up in a Belize city, and everybody whether they're from Belize city, they're from district, they're from bush.
Yeah,
You
from
know,
Bush, from
they come to
district.
city, they say moon pan stick. We make all them
Ah,
funny jokes about them, no?
yeah,
But I want to make this point. In the same way slavery has conditioned we Creoles to not think expansively, to not think like the Mennonites because we don't have the background they have, to not think like the Chinese who come long afterwards and work with one another. I'm sure they don't all come from the same street that wherever in China. But you also have to, we have to give, the word is not credit, but we also have to acknowledge that the British did very, very little for us when they were here.
yes, yes,
They actually had us, and we just took it for granted. They actually had the whole city, they shit in a bucket and throw it in the canals. They don't put no sewage system for we.
yeah. Not even a septic.
Didn't
Not
they
even a
didn't they
septic.
didn't like give a wide street so that nowadays you could easily park. The one thing if you park on a street nowadays in a Belize city.
Funny about that because I was watching something when Mia Motley was responding to a British parliamentarian who suggested that instead of them paying reparations to the Caribbean, we owe them money because they left us in a better shape than we would have been.
Yeah.
Did you see that story? That was
Yeah,
interesting.
I saw that. That's a general view in England. That's why when the United Nations had the vote, the British didn't vote in favor.
Is it, Jeremy? You think is a
Yeah,
common
yeah,
view
yeah.
in England?
Europeans and slave
Yeah, I
colonizers.
don't think Europeans feel that they're responsible for any
Yes,
reparations. They
yeah,
feel that they didn't own slaves, and the people that they're going to give money were never slaves, and that was their
yeah,
opinion.
yeah. It generally
The,
is.
the British never owned slaves.
No, you said the
No,
No, no,
Europeans
no,
and
no,
the
no.
mainland.
the individuals that are living by
Europeans
slave.
in Europe are saying that they have no reason to pay any
No,
reparations
but this
because
was coming from the British. The British were saying
okay. If
that
you want to see, well, the British are
that
saying the same thing.
the
The British are saying
Caribbeans,
the same thing.
that's why I'm asking you. The British didn't own slaves. The
They
Of course,
British
probably
they
are the
own
ones who
slaves.
went to America and brought slaves. They weren't Americans then. They were still British.
Nobody's denying that. Nobody's
All
denying
right,
that.
but you're saying that they think that they don't owe because they didn't own
No, I'm saying
slaves.
present day Europeans, present day people,
Okay,
British
okay,
people are saying that they never owned a slave, and present day black people were never slaves. So there's no reparations to be paid. But there are
okay.
reparations in other way. How do you think we get all the grants from the European Union?
that's
That
not
that's that
reparations. That's not
that's part of
reparations.
that's like a reparation there.
No,
That's
it's
Yeah,
quid
not.
pro
That
quo.
is
That's
foreign. That
quid
is
pro
foreign
quo.
policy. That is foreign
yeah.
policy,
But
where
it's
they
free
try to
money.
influence you, where they try to
Yeah.
get back benefits from you.
Quid
That's
pro
not.
quo.
Well, then
Quid
don't
pro quo.
accept it.
Huh?
Then
Uh-huh.
don't accept it.
I'll say this right. There are good arguments on two sides of the issue. It is written that out of evil cometh good. In the course of enslaving persons out of the continent of Africa and bringing them to work on plantations from generation to generation,
How
which
come
is
whenever you all
Let,
say
let me
about,
get let
okay,
me get this. Let me
let me
get it.
just
Let me
ask
get
you,
this.
how come you
Let-
never put into the equation that it was the black man that sold the black man to
no,
the white
that's a
people?
different story.
Why do you never
No,
mention
no,
that?
no. That's
if
They were
if
that's
all part of the process. They were
if
that's
part
one
of
know
the
me
my
the,
game.
if one know me the
Huh?
buy nobody couldn't have me sell.
yeah.
Nobody.
No. Let me hear what Mr. Dickey was
Well, I
gonna
was
say.
just correcting that because when you say
No,
when they take
no.
you
I
to
will get
Africa,
back to
No,
that
you
because
can't. I want to. Well, let me say this, Spooners. What little I know.
no. Continue with what you were saying first, please. I want you to go ahead with that.
we are in
No.
a we're in a conversation, like a football game and ping
it's
pong.
okay. It makes it exciting. It makes it exciting.
No.
No, I just wanted to make this very important point that there has always been slavery. It's even referred to in the Bible, in the Old Testament, that countries that captured other countries or defeated other countries would normally, usually, turn the citizens them into some kind of slaves for those who are victorious. There has always been slavery. What there hasn't been is the British, who almost single-handedly, they are the biggest beneficiaries of the slave trade and of slavery. I have a book which I just finished reading, which I was shocked to see the figures. There were 500 slaves in Haiti. There were 16 ships in Haiti. The trade, the business, that was the island that enriched France. They had slaves. But the difference is that in the case of the Iranians, when they were the Persians, when they conquered countries after country after country, they make you keep your traditions. And if you want to worship them kind of gods, they left you to worship what you want to worship. But when they call upon you to present a 50,000 and a 75,000 soldiers to assist them in their wars, you better come up. But the difference is that the British have just read the slave code which came into effect in Barbados in 1620 something. The British made it the law that you are chattel. You
Yeah.
black bitch, you are chattel.
Your
You
property.
are just like a cow and a horse and a goat and a sheep.
Your
You
children can
have
be bought
no
and sold.
rights. You have no rights. That is the difference. The difference is that the British made it a law passing down from generation to generation that you are not on the same level as a human being. In the United States of America, you were three-fifths of a human being. That is their law. Before that, the British make it clear. You are chattel. You have no rights. That is the
But
law of
but
one
Dickie, they
generation
did
to the next.
recognize the ills of their way. You can, I would never speak pro slavery. It was a horrible time, but you have to give, and this may get to know I'll work up, but you have to give the British credit. They were the only nation that
Is
started the
there?
abolition, and their
Is
navy
there
started
credit?
to stop all other ships from bringing slaves
Not,
from
not
Africa.
so, not so, not so, sir, not so.
No credit for ending slavery when really slavery became an inefficient method. That's what happened. They phased out slavery because slavery became inefficient when the industrial
But they
revolution
stopped it.
happened.
They
But
stopped
that
it.
is not. But
Would
that is
you
not
would you would
true.
have preferred they didn't stop it and just let it
I'd have
carry on?
preferred they didn't start it. How about
Well,
that?
yeah, we
Or
all
didn't
would.
do it. Or didn't do it.
But why did the Africans sell them to the white
Well,
man?
I mean,
Why?
But
okay, well,
it's
so,
but
but that's not neither
it's
here nor there. Can a
You
white
can
man
you
gonna
Oh
can
sell
no,
the
but
white
why
man
did they
too?
sell them? I
Why
know
the
I
white
wouldn't
man
sell
sell the
my
white
white
man?
brother to anybody. I
we
wouldn't
will
sell
have
my white brother to nobody.
we will have that conversation another time
I just want to know
because
why you know sell
yeah,
on
yeah, yeah.
yourself and never
No,
no man,
mention
but
it.
no.
spooners,
White
that
people
is
Yes,
not
sir.
stole white people.
spooners.
White
That
people
is not
Yes,
stole
a
sir.
white people
historic.
too.
That is not historical accurate.
Yeah.
In addition to people making money and selling other tribes out of
It was a
Africa to the
business,
white
yeah.
traders, they
Horrible business.
they went and captured people They went and started wars against the villages and captured people. And nothing gone, and there was a nice, good business going on, and they are selling slaves. It's not as easy as that. And
Well, if the
also,
African didn't
I'm,
have
I'm sure
written
there was some
language at the
collusion.
time,
There was some
where were
collusion.
these records?
There
Where you
was
getting
some
records
collusion
from?
with some black, maybe
Of
lead
course.
tribe
yes,
leaders.
because they
I
had
understand that.
they had slaves. They had slaves in Africa. They
So
had slaves in
if you
Africa.
want to make the argument, why did the Indians, the Native Americans, allow themselves to be killed out and
Yeah.
They didn't
genocide?
Because
allow
they have
themselves. They fought
because
admirably. They fought very
they
strong
always have
against the
they had
colonials.
bow and arrows. They had bow and
Yeah,
arrows
right.
against. They had bow and
Correct.
arrows against rifles.
Yeah,
Yeah, but then they got rifles
Technology.
don't,
afterwards.
don't
Yeah.
believe them movies we'll see, Jeremy. They
No man,
weren't. There was much
I
of it
read
a
the history.
slaughter.
I
Yeah,
Sorry,
read the
sorry, sorry. What's
history.
that?
much of it
Hold
was
on.
a
You
slaughter.
The
insult me
Red
when
Indians
you
didn't
tell
have
me
any
don't
rifle.
let me believe what I see about it. I perfectly read a lot about it. That what was went on in North America was horrific. All right. So don't tell me that I've been brainwashed into thinking that it was nothing. Of course, it was horrible thing
But
that
you
went
just said the
on.
Indians were fighting them as if they were putting such a fight.
Yeah,
There
but
was
they didn't sit back and take it. They didn't sit back and take it. They fought back. But they fought back with eventually they got guns and so on. You know, they were like guerrillas in America fighting against the settlers, and I would agree with that.
No match
I
for
would agree with
repeating
that.
rifles. No match
Yeah.
for repeating rifles and
we
pistols.
didn't want to get to the point where they were distributing blankets with smallpox on it to kill out
That's
the
the
entire
Spanish. That's the
tribes.
Spanish. That's the Spanish.
The only thing I want
The
to
Americans
say,
did that.
the only
No,
thing I
not the
want to
American.
say,
Spanish.
the only
Why?
thing I
The
want to
Spanish
say,
did it where? In America? That was
In,
done to the
in the Americas, yeah.
that was done to the American Indians.
With a
we
distract, with a
can't,
distract.
we
Okay,
can't
we
escape.
distract. Hold on, we're wandering. Then all right, Dicky said we don't wander.
Somebody has posted up what kind of people go shopping for human beings. So the British cross the ocean. The British
Yeah.
cross the ocean in their ships to go shop for human beings. Thank you, my brother. Who is it? Neville. Oh, Neville vibes.
Those vibes.
I was
We can't,
just I was
Excellent
just reading
observation.
I was
Excellent.
just reading about this ship where they were getting low on water and actually threw overboard
yeah,
dozens of people to
hundreds of people.
make sure that and in fact they filed insurance on it for said
Oh, yeah.
insurance get the insurance coverage for the people that died because they were chattel indeed property. That-
Yeah.
that-
But
that
even
was-
in those times, there you had black man own black man too.
yeah, but that
So,
you know
you know,
the
you had
argument
black
that
man in the slave
you,
trade
you know
also.
got
You know,
the argument
No,
you can't
I don't want to justify anything. All I'm
yeah,
doing is
yeah,
just
yeah.
saying
The
when I
argument
got to
you
the
got,
facts, I have my facts.
you
All
have
right,
no
let's speak the
grounds.
truth.
I don't
we
care.
Let's speak
can't,
the truth.
we can't
That's so
escape.
stubborn.
We can't
I will
excuse
never
slavery.
justify slavery. You'll never get me to justify slavery
No, no,
because it
no.
was
But
a
I'm just saying
horrible thing.
But you're
we can't,
walking a thin line.
yeah, we can't.
No, I'm not walking a thin line. I'm just throwing out facts that maybe you all never know.
No, we know that. We know that.
Okay.
We.
But you're
But
not
we
going to
cannot.
convince me that the
No,
Europeans went into the jungle and
yes, they
captured these
did.
guys and pulled them
Yes,
out. I'm
they
sure
did.
some of that did happen, but the
But
majority of the slaves sold to the Europeans were Africans selling Africans. I'm sorry, but you all deny that. You don't want to mention that.
no. That is part of the history. That is part of the document history.
Yeah.
But if you weren't there shopping, there's nobody to sell. Who to sell it to?
It's like the
We-
drug dealer. It's like the drug dealer, person who supplies the drugs, the person who deals the drugs, and the people who buy the drugs. It's the same sort of connection.
You
can't.
can't like
We
go
can't.
far stretch, but all right.
We,
We'll work with it. Go
yeah.
ahead, Greg.
We can't excuse slavery by saying that
The
the
black man sell the
benefit
black
was
man.
that the black man sold another black man into slavery. The beneficiary of slavery has been the white states. It has not been a benefit to any black country in Africa or anywhere else. The only people that benefited from slavery has been the Americas, the European countries, and some of the South American countries.
I'm not
Those
sure
are the
they're not.
benefits.
I'm not sure they're not still benefiting. Do
Of
you
course,
know
of course
that?
they are.
You
Of
know
course they are.
Haiti just finally paid back France for them having released their slaves. They had to.
Yeah.
Haiti had to pay reparation to France because they lost their slaves. There's some crazy things there, though. They're not argument that's easy to have. And
Yes.
so,
And
I
so
would like to when Dickie come back. When Dickie there?
and
the
he,
kid,
I
he's,
want.
he's
the
moving
kid
around.
hear you.
And,
It sound like it.
and we know that some black nations, countries, kingdoms participated by capturing some black people they were fighting against and put them on the slave ship. But we know also that at some point when they were running out of those people on the coast, they start taking and destroying those same countries when catchers went on those countries. They start taking those same people. There's history in it where the kingdom of Benin, the president or the leader of that country, the king of that country, was complaining to the Portuguese that, hey, they are now taking my people after he had participated in capturing other black people and making them available for the slave trade. So we know that happened. There's no doubt that you couldn't have brought a ship with 3,000 people and land 7 or 8 ships in Africa and without the participation of African people to some degree, that those ships would have left those coasts with slaves. So there was some
Yeah, I just wanted to mention to Dickie that you there, Dickie? You could hear me. I am Dickie. You hear me?
The
It looks
kid
like
will
he's having
meditate.
trouble with his internet. Yeah.
connection.
You
Your
gotta
voice
pay that bill, the kid. You gotta pay. You
broke
got
up, man.
smart or BTL?
Yeah.
You must have got smart. It go out and come in. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I want listen. Apartheid just ended the other day. A couple years ago, really. And so that this whole slavery thing has lingered long after the selling and buying of slaves ended,
Yeah.
and the white people are still benefiting because the blacks are still disenfranchised wherever they are and are not
And
given equal opportunity, and this is a part of the fight. But I'm
yeah,
saying, and again, I was before they come back and you go on that. That at the end of the day, at some point we'll have to move from who the differences we have and the similarities that we have, which is a citizenship of a country, and if that country to move forward, all the parts will have to be working together. Are we willing to put aside now all that has happened and move forward? Will it?
I
Will,
think until we redress some of the concerns of reparation, some of the concerns of opportunities
how would you handle reparation, Gregory? Who would you give the reparation to? What would you do with the reparation money?
I think it has to be loans and exchange of educational opportunities to these developing countries. I don't think it's necessary. Yes, some money but some money will be going, but I think it's mostly investment and true and honest investment, not exploited investment
Because
in
that what
countries.
happened. I mean, that way people will get benefit from that because they will rise up, if you will, and take advantage of those opportunities. They
Well,
know that.
that's what I'm saying. It has to be structured in a way so that if they're going to right now, Africa has all the resources of the world, all the resources the world needs, but it needs the technical skill and capability of the West to properly exploit those resources. But they need to come with honesty. You can't just come and say, we'll take it and we'll develop it here and then we'll sell it back to you and we'll make a loan to you to
All
put
right,
it
all right.
behind.
The key is back. Go with your question to the key. Spoon, I want to catch the key.
Well, I just want to tell Dickie that I don't know if he knew this, but I'm part Polish, no, and a friend of mine, his father went to Haiti to work as an accountant for a couple of months, and he met some Haitians who spoke Polish, and we looked into the history of it, and I don't know if Dickie knows
Yes,
this, that
yes,
France had Polish mercenaries in Haiti
yes,
in their
yes,
military. When
yes,
Toussaint Leclerc had his revolt, the Polish
yes,
mercenaries went on his side and helped them defeat the
yes.
French. I don't know if you know that. So I have a very proud legacy on my Polish side. Now on my British side,
That's
I'm in
good. That's
trouble.
good. Yes, and
Trouble on my
actually,
British side.
they were the only people that the Sun allowed to stay in Haiti after the revolution.
Did you hear that, Dickie?
Yeah,
Okay.
but in terms of numbers, it wasn't significant. It's the Haitian slaves that really did the thing. They
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
defeated. They defeated
yeah.
Napoleon.
You
Napoleon
yes.
know.
sent his
Napoleon's army. Yeah,
the
Napoleon's
British
army.
giant. The British came along because they couldn't tolerate that, and the slaves
No,
in
man.
Haiti
No, you have to
defeated.
put that down right away, man. You have to
Yeah,
protect the interests.
yeah,
Yeah.
didn't succeed. They're a fabulous story, but we don't
Yeah.
really have
Yeah,
interest in those matters.
we
They
don't
are.
care.
I'm very proud of my Polish people.
Yeah,
They
we just view
you
the
I
went on
hear
your
you.
side.
we just view the Haitian
They they were the
as
Poles
good
were the
people.
first one to be conquered by Hitler.
Yeah, but
We
why?
were never conquered by Hitler.
But,
We
oh,
rocked
oh, oh,
Hitler.
I have a few jokes you might be interested in because but anyway, we're not going there now because
Okay.
the
Yeah,
polls are.
we
I
want to
think
do a little
Belize,
discussion.
what Vicky brought up today about race, I think Belize really needs to talk about race. I did a
Me too.
research because I keep hearing about mental slavery and colonialism, traumatization, and all of that. And I asked AI, how long does it take after a country gets independence and they're in control of their own destiny? How long does that mental slavery it gradually gets erased? And it says it starts
There's
after 80 years. After 80 years. So we're at 45, we got another
Yeah.
45 to get rid of that mental
I
slavery.
hope it won't
no
take us that long because
that has to be against the background of
yeah,
what came before independence,
yeah,
of what kind of we need to remember. Let's talk about the Creole people thing. My little understanding is that when Hurricane Hattie did so much damage to Belize City and to Stan Creek, serious structural damage. We were already neglected by the British. They had no more interest in us. And what they left behind was hardly anything. But then we were given an opportunity to migrate to the United States of America. And what that is alleged to have done to us is that some of the solid, disciplined, Christian upbringing people, when they left and left their children behind with granny, that was really like, it's not the start because I don't know what was before that, but that put a hurting on the little tiny population of Creoles. That we were deprived of role models, we were deprived of people who had an amount of pride in their family, and they didn't have money, but they were able to survive and assist one another. In the neighborhoods, you could send and say, you have one scissors where you could lend me. You have white thread where you could lend me. A shot of sugar, you're gonna need sugar for lend me. We still had some kind of, in fact, people in my generation would say when they go complain that then you stone mango down the street or somewhere else. If the person where got a mango tree catch on by you, it give you a lashing, and then carry you home, and then your people give you a lashing. They were disciplined people. They wanted their children to grow up with what they thought was an education, which was basic primary school education. But as a little society trying to survive after slavery, along came the plucking out of the salt of the earth, man, the good backbone of our little tiny society.
As you would say, though, against the background, against another background, because that are never all roses. There was a lot of cruelty along that time. And you want to beat and picnic like that for one mango. Well, but that's a stretch. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of cruelty, and you have to say that it wasn't all bad that we advanced beyond that. And yes, we lost a lot and the old tradition and whatnot, and
Yep.
discipline went out the window for sure.
Yeah.
But
Discipline and honesty.
yes, yes.
And then in my time, in 1980 or thereabouts, along came American television.
Oh,
Now we had already we had already becoming brainwashed
It destroyed our
because
value system.
the people who went to America, I can remember because all my people in Ghana one through the back. The people they sent back these pictures playing in the snow, sitting on top of the bonnet of some fancy looking vehicle,
Mm.
smoking some name brand cigarette and drinking Colt 45 or whatever else was in fashion. That played a role on us. We wanted to go to States.
More than that, one or two of them come back
Ooh,
and
not talk about that.
exhibited that yeah.
Not
Yeah,
talk
the
about that.
opulence that was obscene.
Apparent opulence, no?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
So you have that, but what did that do? If we were to go down into PG with monies and clothes and fancy vehicles, so we could contaminate them people.
Mhm.
We could distract them. Now, remember, we are watching American movies. Remember, we are starting to listen to American music. And along come television. We had unregulated television.
Who said it was like an invading army of a
Said
thousand?
Musa.
Yeah,
Said Musa.
he was prophetic. He was prophetic.
So you could see that against the background that we were already basically deprived of some basic things as a kind of society, and all these things happen to us, and all of us right now talking to one another would readily agree that the arrival of the internet in terms of being able to look on Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp and all the nakedness that are associated with music nowadays, we would all tend to agree that that is not a good thing for our young people.
But that's there's good and bad that the key, because look at this right now. What we're doing here is a part of that whole technology. So there's good and bad in it, and yes, like in everything else, you're gonna have those who take advantage of it. But it has helped us to be more informed and be stay connected. What we
Even the
gonna
younger, even the younger generation,
Well, what are we gonna do with that?
because they are the future. They are the future.
Yeah, yes, but they also get educated. There's an opportunity to educate them if the parents would know what to let them watch
It's called the
and limit it.
it's called the miseducation of the Belizean generation.
But
They are reading, they are reading, but they are reading Facebook and TikTok.
well, yeah, most of them can't write. Yeah. So
So these are great challenges facing us at a time when we need to discuss the real challenges that are facing us. We have always, barring the Mayas, because they don't live in a money economy. Barring the Maya people, we Creole have been at the bottom of the social and economic ladder in this country. We have been on our backs, and we still are there. And what is
How can
what
we pull? How can we pull them out of it? How can
well,
we
that's
pull them
it.
out of
That's
it?
okay. I can't put that tube back the PS back in the tube.
Well, we need to, because we need to.
You can't.
They
You
need
can't.
to
That
be brought
we
up.
have to be able to deal with it now. How we want to live with it. Now we can't reverse none of that. Where we are, and we can't stop it for our benefit.
well,
It's here.
I would want to look a little on the optimistic side, which is to say that quite a large proportion of the young generation are going to school. That is a good thing.
But mostly women.
No matter long as they go to some kind of school,
Ah,
that's a good start for us. Because
but
what if we were like some people who give up?
but you see how that no matter, it doesn't matter come in, because we're talking about male and female. When you think of different ethnicities, we are all Belizeans, and if we go to school, like you say, no matter, but we're going to school. And as long as those who go to school turn around and use their education to help everybody else, how do we do that? How do we move away from the selfishness where that's just about me? As long as I got my house and my job and my set covered, how do we look at the rest of us and say,
That will bring in something that the previous generation must be given the credit for. that the schools were denominational, that there are times when the class actually goes over to the church, that in those days you had Sunday school, that the priests were part of the community. The priest would come to your home if somebody is sick. The priest is, is a part of the community. I believe religion have an important place to play, especially in a society which is materialistic, which is all about today, all about me, all about not we, me, it's about me. I believe that against that background, we have not been able to come up with any other alternative than to try and say to people, life is more than just dressing up, go drink, go smoke, go have sex and party, and there is nothing else other than that. No, there is benefit in work.
Gentlemen, we could go on forever. We're out of time, so we have to sum it up, right? How do you say this question, Dickie, that how do you respond to people who will tell you that religion actually are part of the problem?
We are not part of the problem. We are the
problem.
victims of the problem. We are the victims of the problem.
No. I'm talking about religion.
Yeah.
Religion, why?
Religion and false doctrines that we're pushing in our heads and not tying the ends together as such. There are people who suggest that might be a part of the reason why we're in the bind we're in.
I would
How do you
agree.
respond?
I would agree that the failure to put in place something that, especially when you have a young mind, can you imagine? Schooners make an important point which is disturbing. It's mostly the women. But guess who they do the shooting? It ain't the women doing the shooting. If you have young minds which are not being molded, which are not being exposed to the fact that then are more than just why make we just talk grass all day, drink some stout and smoke and weed and go out of the garden. If you have something to say to them, your life is more than that.
The unfortunate thing, my brother, is that a lot of the shooting that over women. Did you know that?
That's
a lot
what?
of the arguments that over women and to please their women and to impress their women.
All society got that, but we the fight over weed. We the fight over go rob one China and get and leave money. We the fight.
That's a part of it too. Yeah, but there are a lot of. Anyway, listen, we gotta go. Dickie, let me continue this because I really we enjoy your participation. I have no problem with that. Why you come on more regularly? Make us see what we could do with this, right? I'm going to barbecue to come up next week. We got time to talk about that next week. I want everybody try help with this. We need transportation to get with people around, with children to go that. We want to go to Malante. I want to talk to you about Malante, but we'll talk about that next week. I'm going to this weekend, but I'm a part of whether you talk about go to PG and corrupt these people. Malante, I want World Heritage Site, which means why you're affected. I wonder how much can you do or should do.
It's originally a Creole community.
Man, I want fabulously. I wouldn't want to spoil it by big it up too much and whatnot. I don't want to go down there and change nothing, but I want quaint, just one cultural, historical, one charming little place.
And what we need the government to do, Mr. Chairman, is to make sure that they have shore protection so that we don't have the level of erosion that community has been experiencing.
That kind of tough. Anyway,
all right. Good night, everybody.
All right. You mind if what we have right there? All right. See why? Thank you very much, guys. See you. Same place next week, same time. Right. See why? We're out of here. We're done.
Good night, gentlemen.
Other people business, you better stop peep on it. Only your friends can know about your secret. If Adam you, I would have just keep it. Make your bed out and nail your half to sleep on it. Other people business, you better stop peep on it. Only your friends can know about your secret. Don't reveal. musically inclined. Sweet things said after they invent rhyme. We forefathers do the touching. We are the